The scent hit her before she reached the village square. A warm, spicy wave of aroma: smoky grilled chicken, richly seasoned jollof rice, fried plantains, and sweet puff-puffs. Her stomach growled so loudly it startled a nearby goat. Alma wiped the sweat from her brow and ducked behind a parked lorry filled with crates of palm wine. The afternoon sun beat down like punishment, but her hunger was fiercer. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. Children danced around the drummers, women in geli and lace bustled about, and laughter rang out from the colorful canopies where guests sat eating. It was a wedding. A big one. The kind only wealthy families in the village of Eziani could afford. Alma crouched lower, her eyes fixed on a table at the far end near the catering tent. Silver trays gleamed with untouched food. No one seemed to be watching. She waited. Her heart pounded like a gem drum. The moment the servers turned their backs, she darted forward, snatching a paper plate and piling it high: rice, chicken, plantain, a puff-puff on top. Her hand trembled as she shoved a spoonful into her mouth. Heaven. Warm, spicy, salty sweet heaven. But then, "Hey, who are you?" A man's voice boomed. People turned. The music stuttered. Alma froze, chicken in hand. The groom stood just a few feet away, still in his gold-embroidered agbada, a look of stunned recognition crossing his face. "Wait," he said, stepping closer, eyes narrowing. "Wait, I know you." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Alma stood paralyzed. The spoon in her hand dropped to the ground. All eyes were on her, yet she only saw one: his. The groom. Tall, handsome, clean-shaven with a thin scar near his left brow. His agbada fluttered slightly in the breeze, but his gaze didn't move. It was locked on hers. She took a hesitant step back. "I'm sorry," she mumbled, but her voice was lost in the silence that had taken over the celebration. An older woman in a coral-beaded head tie pointed at her. "Thief. She stole food." The murmurs grew louder. Children stopped dancing. Guests craned their necks to see the intruder who had dared to disrupt one of the wealthiest weddings in Eziani. But the groom wasn't angry. No, he looked confused. "I know you," he said again, softer this time. "From somewhere? Alma?" Her breath caught. No one had said her name in years. "How do you know her, Nonso?" asked a woman in an extravagant blue lace dress, clearly the bride. Her face twisted in suspicion. Nonso stepped forward, ignoring the whispers. He looked Alma up and down, dusty feet, threadbare wrapper tied carelessly, a scarf covering her matted hair. Still, something tugged at his memory. "You lived in Umadam, didn't you? Near the old Anglican church. Your father was." Alma's eyes welled up. "A teacher," she whispered. "Mr. Okafor. He died 5 years ago." Gasps filled the air again. People shifted uncomfortably. Nonso's eyes softened, the recognition now complete. "I remember now," he said. "You helped me when I had nowhere to go. During the riots. You gave me food when no one else would." Alma's lip trembled. "You were the boy hiding in our shed." And just like that, the roles had reversed. The village square pulsed with a strange tension. The drums had gone silent. The air, once filled with joy and celebration, now throbbed with whispers. Women clutched their handbags closer. Children clung to their mothers. Men folded their arms and leaned in to listen. Alma wanted to vanish. She clutched the paper plate tightly, her hands trembling. The food, once a blessing, now felt like a curse. Her heart pounded in her chest like it was trying to break free. The bride, Adiz, stepped forward with a fiery glare. Her voice sliced through the murmurs. "So this is your long-lost savior? A street thief? On our wedding day?" Nonso turned to her. "Adiz, please. This is not what you think." "Oh, it's exactly what I think. This girl just embarrassed our families. She came here to cause shame." A group of women moved toward Alma, muttering words like shameless, disgrace, and witch. One even raised a hand, ready to slap her. But Nonso raised his voice. "Enough." Everyone froze. Even the birds nesting in the mango tree above seemed to stop chirping. Nonso stepped between Alma and the crowd. "She may be homeless now, but once upon a time, she saved my life. I was just a street boy then, sent to live with my uncle. He threw me out. There were riots in the village, and I had nowhere to go." He turned to Alma. "Your father gave me a mat and water. But you gave me bread. Every morning. You thought I didn't notice, but I did." Alma blinked away tears. It had all happened so long ago, before the accident that changed her world. Before hunger became her companion. The guests looked at each other uneasily. The bride's face hardened. "So what now, Nonso? Are you going to invite her to sit with the guests and ruin what's left of this day?" But Nonso was quiet. He looked at Alma again, this time, not with confusion, but with a deep, unsettling sense of fate. The drums, which had started to thump softly in the background, came to an abrupt halt once again. Nonso's words lingered in the air like incense, powerful, impossible to ignore. Adi stood rooted, her beautiful belly tilted slightly as if burdened by the weight of betrayal. Her eyes glistened with angry tears. "So you'd rather defend a girl who came here to steal, than honor the vows you're supposed to make today?" she asked, her voice now quivering. Nonso turned fully to face her. "I was prepared to say those vows with my whole heart. But today revealed something deeper. Compassion must be the foundation of marriage. If you can't stand beside me while I show mercy to someone who once fed me in my lowest moment, then maybe we built this on sand." Adiz gasped, stepping back as if struck. Her mother rushed to her side, wrapping a protective arm around her. "You disgrace us, Nonso," her mother spat. "You disgrace everything we prepared. Do you know how many dignitaries are seated here?" "I don't care about dignitaries," he said firmly. "I care about doing what's right." Amma felt her heart twist. She hadn't asked for this, she never wanted to break up a wedding. "Please," she whispered, stepping forward, "I will leave. I never meant to cause trouble. Let the wedding continue." But it was too late. Guests began rising from their seats. Some were angry. Others were murmuring about destiny, about omens, about what it meant when a beggar interrupted a sacred ceremony. Adiz tore off her veil and flung it to the ground. "Then marry her," she shouted. "Marry your little bread girl." She stormed away, her heels digging into the dirt, leaving behind silence once more. Amma stared at Nonso, her mouth slightly open. "Why did you do that?" she whispered. "You didn't have to." Nonso looked at her with soft, steady eyes. "Maybe I didn't. But maybe the gods brought you here today for a reason." The crowd slowly began to thin. Guests drifted away, some muttering curses under their breath, others shaking their heads with quiet wonder. What had started as the most anticipated wedding in Eziani had ended in confusion, scandal, and whispered tales that would ripple through the village for weeks. Alma stood still, holding the untouched plate of food, now cold and heavy. She watched as women packed away the decorations, chairs were folded, and leftover meals were stacked in metal trays. Her heart pounded, not with hunger this time, but with disbelief. She turned to leave. She didn't belong here, not in the middle of ruined celebrations and broken engagements. But Nonso gently touched her arm. "Where are you going?" She didn't look at him. "Back to where I came from." "Where is that?" he asked. She hesitated. "I sleep behind the old market. Near the burnt-out kiosk. Sometimes by the bus park if it rains." Nonso's face darkened with concern. "That's no place for anyone, Amma." "I've been there for years," she said quietly. "After my father died, the landlord took the house. My mother passed a year later. Everything disappeared." Nonso exhaled slowly. "Why didn't anyone help you?" She gave a small, bitter smile. Everyone helped in their silence. They looked away. That was help enough. A beat of silence passed between them. "I want to help," Nonso said. Amma shook her head. "You've already given up enough for me. Your bride, your wedding." "She wasn't the right one," he interrupted. "A woman who cannot stand by her husband when he chooses kindness is not meant to be his partner." Amma looked up at him. "So what am I to you?" Nonso was quiet, then said simply, "Someone I owe. Someone I remember. Someone who still matters." And for the first time in many years, Amma felt seen, not as a beggar, not as a thief, but as a person. That evening, the skies darkened with the promise of rain. Thick gray clouds blanketed the village, and distant thunder rolled like the slow beat of a funeral drum. Nonso walked beside Amma through the muddy footpath that led away from the square. The silence between them was not uncomfortable, it was heavy with thought, filled with questions neither was ready to ask aloud. They reached the burnt-out kiosk near the market. Amma pointed. "This is where I sleep, when it doesn't flood." Nonso looked around. There was a tattered mat rolled into a corner, a threadbare wrapper folded beside a cracked plastic bowl. The air smelled of soot and stale water. Flies buzzed lazily near a pile of old food wrappers. "This can't be your life," he said, almost to himself. "It is," she replied, wrapping her arms around herself. "But I'm still alive." Nonso stared at the broken wood and rusted metal around them. He remembered the Amma who had once given him bread through the hole in their compound fence. A quiet, kind girl with spark in her eyes. How had that spark survived all this? He pulled out his phone and made a call. "Uncle Chike?" "Yes, it's me. I need a favor. Tonight." Amma frowned. "What are you doing?" "I have a guest house, unused, just a few blocks from the school I'm building in Umuchu. It's simple, but safe. And it has running water, food, and a real bed. You'll stay there tonight." Amma blinked, stunned. "You don't have to. I want to. But people will talk. They'll say I bewitched you or—" "Let them talk," he said firmly. "They've always talked. But they were silent when you suffered. Their words mean nothing to me now." Thunder rumbled louder as the first drops of rain began to fall. Alma looked up at the sky, then at Nonso. For the first time in years, she wouldn't have to run for shelter. She nodded slowly. Okay. Just for one night. But both of them knew it wouldn't be just one night. Alma stared at the room in disbelief. It was small but clean, painted in a calming sky blue. A soft bed stood in the middle, draped with white mosquito netting. On the wooden dresser were 2 fresh towels, a bar of soap, and a wrapped loaf of ajij bread beside a bottle of malt. Her hands trembled as she reached for the bread. She paused, not because she wasn't hungry, but because it felt strange to be offered food without suspicion. This is for me, she whispered. Nonso, standing in the doorway, smiled. Everything here is yours. For now, it's home. Alma lowered herself slowly onto the bed, testing it like it might vanish. The mattress didn't creak. It embraced her. She exhaled, slowly, fully, as if she'd been holding her breath for years. I feel like I'm stealing again, she said. You're not, Nonso replied. You're reclaiming. You deserve this, Alma. And more. He turned to leave, but Alma stopped him. Why are you doing all this? He hesitated. Because you reminded me of something I forgot. What's that? That kindness doesn't expire. It may go quiet for a while, buried beneath pain and pride, but it never truly dies. Alma lowered her gaze. But what happens now? You left your bride at the altar. The whole village saw. They'll twist the story. I don't care, he said softly. Let them say I lost a bride. In truth, I may have found something far greater. Their eyes met, and the unspoken question lingered. Nonso stepped out, allowing her to rest. She lay back, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in years, she would sleep without fear of rats nibbling her feet or waking up to police chasing her away. Outside, the rain poured. But inside, Alma was finally dry.